Hello, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Guys, today we're making some pepper steak. I'm making pepper steak today. This is a really quick and easy meal that you can make in the evening when you're coming from work, and I just want to show you how to do it. You can use beef, you can use any type of beef that you want, or you can even use chicken. That's up to you, okay? So I'm gonna slice this beef. You can buy your beef from the supermarket that's already sliced thin, or you can buy your chopped meat and just slice it yourself as thin as you want it. So let's get started. Let me show you how I'm gonna do it. I have over here a couple pieces that I already sliced. This is kind of like bite size. And as you see in this meat, I have some fat in here, which I want to take out of in here because, and this piece is a little thick, so I'm gonna just slice this in half. First, I'm gonna take that piece of fat off because we don't want to be eating that fat. So I slice that off, and then I'm gonna slice this a little thinner. If you have a really sharp knife, this is really good, but I suggest that you be careful because I don't want nobody cutting their hands, okay? So if your knife is not that sharp, just leave it alone. But this here has some more fat in it. Wait, I'm gonna cut it. I'll probably just get rid of that piece from there. I cut that out, guys, because we're not gonna use that. That is fat, and I don't want to use that. So I'm gonna slice this meat thinly like this size, more like a bite size, nice and thin like that. So what I'm gonna do, you don't have to slice this meat, guys. You can, as I say, you can buy it from the supermarket already sliced thinly, so you don't have to slice it yourself. Okay, because some people are afraid, oh, I'm gonna cut myself. I don't want you to cut yourself. So go ahead and buy it already cut up. Okay, guys, so after you've cut up your meat, here's the meat all cut up, and your meat is nice and clean. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put it in a bowl. Let me get rid of this. And you're gonna add some spices to it. Now I have here 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning, and a little 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I also have over here some onions, scallions, peppers, and so on that's been chopped up. And this is some dark soy sauce. Now for you use whatever spices you have in your cabinet. You don't have to use the exact same thing, but if you use this is fine. You can use this and to season your meat, okay? But whatever you like to season your meat with is fine. So I'm gonna mix this all up together like that. And then I'm going to sprinkle it in here. I have, as I said, this is like onion, scallions, and so on chopped up. I put that in there. And this is some soy sauce. And this is 1 tablespoon of soy sauce in here. And this is the dark soy sauce. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix this all up together well. And what you're doing is you're marinating your meat. Once you marinate your meat, you're gonna let it sit for maybe about 30 minutes or so. Or you can do it early in the day and just set it aside until you're ready to cook it. Okay, guys, so the next step we're gonna do is to chop up our peppers that we have here. I have here some celery, 2 stalks of celery. I have an onion, a green pepper, and a red pepper. So what I'm gonna do is right here, I'm gonna go ahead and chop this up. We're gonna kind of chop everything up chunky. And I'm gonna put this over here. this plate right here. Next, I have the peppers, and this is how we're going to chop the peppers up. Over here. In. Now I'm going to chop the onion up, and you're going to chop the onion up the same way you chop the peppers up. Now you will also use some fresh garlic if you have fresh garlic. I run out of garlic, so I'm not going to use garlic right now. But you will use some fresh garlic, or if you have the bottled garlic, you can use that as well. Okay? So the next thing I'm going to do, there's a little sauce that we're going to be making. I'm going to make that next. So the thing about making this is you prepare everything, you prep everything, you put it aside. So once you start to cook, you have everything there ready for you. So the next thing will be our sauce, so I'll be right back. Okay guys, so now we're going to go on to our next step. So we're going to make a sauce that is going to go over the onions and peppers once they've sauteed. So let's get started on that. So in here I have half a cup of water. We don't need a lot of water, but half a cup of water is good. And we're going to add some stuff to this water. So over here we're going to kind of spice this up a little bit. So I have some black pepper here. This is going to be a little spicy, so you can eliminate some of this stuff if you like. I have some pepper here, some pepper flakes. This is 1 teaspoon of salt. I have half a teaspoon of black pepper and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. We put the cornstarch in to thicken the gravy, but if you don't want to use a cornstarch, you can also eliminate that as well. Okay, I have some ketchup here, which I haven't measured ketchup. I'm just gonna pour some in. We're gonna put about a tablespoon of honey, and I'm also gonna put a little more soy sauce, but you're not gonna put too much soy sauce because you don't want to make it salty. Okay, so let's get started. I had a spoon just now. So I'm gonna add all this stuff in here. And we're gonna mix that up. I'm going to add a little bit of ketchup. Just a little bit of ketchup, so you really don't need to measure that because it's not gonna change the taste that much. Just rinse my hand. Over here, I'm going to put about a tablespoon of honey. I'm going to put a little honey there. Mix this up. And I'm going to put a little more soy sauce to that as well. And we're going to mix this up. I have everything set over here. As you can see, I have my sauce here that I just made. We have the meat that was marinating for at least half an hour. I have my peppers here and onions. So let's go over to the stove. We will be making our pepper steak. Let's go over to the stove. The first thing we have to start with is our meat. So what I'm gonna do is brown the meat. So we're gonna put at least a couple tablespoons of olive oil. You can use any kind of oil that you have. And we're gonna let the oil heat up for a little bit. Once your oil is hot, we're gonna go ahead and put our meat in. But we're gonna make sure we spread our meat out so that it is not let me just put this in here, and we then spread it out so each piece gets to cook on its own. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and brown this meat, and when it's all done, I'm gonna come back and we're gonna go on to the next step. So when you brown your meat on one side, then you're gonna turn the meat over and brown it on the other side. Okay guys, so after you cook your meat on both sides, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the meat out of the pan. I'm gonna take it all out and put it here. Okay. Okay. So this is the meat right here. It's already been cooked. So I'm gonna rest that over there. Now, in this same pan with all the sauce here, if you have garlic, you would add your garlic in there. Then after you saute your garlic for a little bit, then we will add our onions. And we're gonna continue to saute this for a little bit. Oh, piece of meat is still left in here. Look at that. I don't need to cook you anymore. You're already cooked, so we can take you out and put you there. So I'm gonna saute the onion for a little bit, and as soon as this onion is cooked down just a little, not too much, because I don't want them to be too soft, I would add the peppers to that. So the next thing we're gonna add is our peppers and our celery. Now we're not going to cook this too soft because we want to have that crunch. So I'm going to saute this for a few minutes in here. You're not going to cook that down too much. And to that, I'm going to go ahead and just throw in a pack of frozen broccoli. And just get it a couple of minutes just to cook down, a couple of minutes, and then we'll continue. So we have our peppers here that we cooked down for a little bit. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my sauce, I'm going to pour it in there, and I'm going to leave this here for a few minutes just for it to come to a boil. And once it comes to a boil, then we'll add our meat, and then voila, we're ready to eat. Alright guys, so I think this is good right here. It boiled down a little bit. So now what we're gonna do is add the meat back inside of that, and we're gonna mix it all up. Remember, your meat is already cooked, so you don't need to cook it anymore. Mix it all up well. Turn your stove off, and this is your pepper steak, guys. Simple and easy. Anyone can do it. And we are all done. Now I'm going to pair this up with some rice and come back and taste it and tell you what it tastes like. Pepper steak is all done. Here it is, guys. Looks delicious. Delicioso. So now I'm going to test it for you. I have some rice here that I made. It goes well with rice, but you know, it can go well with lots of other things. And let's just take a little bit of our pepper steak and put on the side of our plate. Let's get a little bit of broccoli and put here. And I want to go ahead and taste this for you. A little bit of rice. Now, as you can see, the steam is coming out of it, so it is very hot. So I have to be careful. But as you can see, the peppers and so on is not cooked too soft. They have a crunch to them, and the onions. But if you don't like them crunchy, you can cook them some more. It's up to you. Everything is always, you have choices. So let me taste it for you. The flavor is perfect. Guys, the flavor is just right. The meat is nice and tender. You have a little bit of broccoli right here. You can add mixed veg, whatever you want. Make it your own, but it is good. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you can make some pepper steak for yourself and your family. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I also have another channel. It's called Tinaraine's Journey. If you want to go over there and check that one out, please do so. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Until next time, bye-bye.